Hi there and good morning and welcome to today's Quentin Carpenter Nature of Flowers Photopea and Photoshop tutorial. Today I'm going to compare the differences of using masks with both applications, Photoshop and Photopea. Okay, first of all, what a mask is it's a way of cutting out an image so you leave the background blank, and you can see on this Photoshop version I've already applied the mask, so I'm going to go edit step backwards and show you how to do just that. So the first thing you'll need to do is have an area of your image that you have selected. In this case it's the daisy. To do this I use the quick select tool, and if I step back again you'll be able to see what I mean. So edit step backwards, edit step backwards. So using the quick select tool I move it around onto the daisy to select the areas. This works perfectly if there's a strong contrast between the two colours. If there's a more subtle contrast between the colours, it can be a little bit more tricky and you might have to use a little bit of refinement. Once I've got my flashing line on my image, it would be really simple to go edit, copy, edit, paste, and I would create a cutout version of my image. We've been doing this a lot. It's a very easy, simple technique. But instead of doing that today, I'm just going to step backwards again. What we're going to do is we're going to add, on Photoshop, it's called a vector mask. And we're going to add this mask to the layer, and it will do exactly the same thing. But this time, the image will stay on the same layer. So we've only got the one layer, but we've got this black bit around it. Now, that's fantastic because we can use that in many ways. I'll come back and talk about that a bit more in a moment. Now on Photopea, to do exactly the same thing, I'll step backwards as well. Photopea obviously is always a little bit laggy, but it does its best. So using the same, I'll step backwards again. So using the same tool, the quick select tool, we click on the area we want to select. Photopea did it much quicker for some reason. So we've got the whole area outlined. We go to our layer menu, which is over here. We go down to the bottom. I'll hide my loom screen. Go to the bottom and we press on this one, add a raster mask. And that does exactly the same thing. So you can see that is the same in both applications. Now, what works really well is if I make a new layer behind this, and I can drag that to the bottom, I can then, on Photoshop, go to my paint bucket. I can choose a different color. I'll go with black at the moment so we can see it stand out. And I will click onto the layer. So it says layer 1 here, and I'll click the black, and I've got my black background for my daisy. Now I'll do the same thing over on Photopea. So click on the same button, make a new layer. I can drag it down here. If I was doing this on my phone, I'd have to use the layer menu and I'd have to arrange and bring it backwards either way. And I go to my paint bucket, which is hiding over here, and down here is my black paint. So I'm in paint bucket, I'm on the layer and I click, and there is my background. So you can see if I hide the layer menu and I put the two screens next to each other, there is practically no difference between the two images. Use the same tool and the same effect. Okay. Now, what's nice is if on the layer with the mask, if I go to the paintbrush tool and I make sure I've got a decent size paintbrush, and say I want to add some bits to my mask and it will get rid of bits, I can paint black over it and it will get rid of these little imperfections. So I can close that and you'll be able to see what's happening. Okay, same on this one. I'll get to the paint bucket, paintbrush, and I'll be able to just tidy up that little imperfection up here. It's taking a little bit longer on Photopea as always. And you can see that's why, if you had the option, most people would probably choose Photoshop because it's not online, so it does things a little bit quicker. Obviously, if we're remote learning, we're working from home, if we don't have Photoshop, Photopea does it just as well, but it is that little bit slower at reacting to things. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed watching today's quick lesson on using masks, and hopefully you'll be able to incorporate that in your designs in the future. Okay, so just to recap, to get the mask, we press the button down here. It looks a bit like a sort of camera with a lens in the middle of it. It's a vector mask on Photoshop, and in Photopea, if I go to my layer menu, it's the same picture. It's like a rectangle with a circle in it, and it's called a raster mask. So experiment with that, see how you get on, and have fun doing your edits. Obviously, you can do all sorts of things once you've got the mask, which you will then be able to experiment with in the next lesson. So hopefully you've enjoyed watching today's Nature of Flowers Quentin Carpenter tutorial. If you have, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, and tick the bell so you're notified when I post my new videos. Okay, thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.